Welcome back to the Sports Syllabus Show. I'm your host, John, and next to me, obviously, is not Luke Young. Who am I joined by?
Sonja Inzinger from the track and cross country team.
So Sonia, what races do you run?
I mainly run the 3,000 meters and outdoors the 5,000 meters.
So long distance.
Yeah, long distance, yeah.
So I do a segment with all my guests. My mom asked them questions. So my mom currently has COVID, so she sent in
Oh.
the audio clips. It's two questions, and then we can kind of continue with my interview. But this is how I kind of let my mom get her little glow. So.
If you could tell your younger self one thing about this journey, what would it be?
Enjoy the process. Yeah.
Because it seems like you've kind of been a little, and I mean, you're only a sophomore, but
Yeah.
you're from Austria,
Yeah.
and now you were in Indy, right? Is Evansville in Indiana?
Yes, it is.
So
yeah.
you went to Indiana, now you're in Illinois.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then the second one is not as like kind of serious. It's more of, I know I do this with everyone. It's kind of just something that me and my mom have started to been asking. Your favorite, actually, it's something about your hometown. We'll say that.
Okay.
And then my next question is, what is your favorite home cooked meal?
Oh my God, so many people ask me that. That's so hard for me. I think it's just any kind of pasta, which is not really an Austrian thing or
Yeah.
but yeah.
Pasta?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there like kind of, did you just grow up and kind of, is pasta like kind of like a home cooked
Yeah.
pasta meal is kind of your
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
What other kind of, are there any like Austrian delicacies that you like that you can't really, I mean, you could probably have them here, but they're obviously not as,
Yeah, so there's a thing that's called Kaiserschmarrn, and it's basically a pancake, and you just part it, and then you put applesauce on top, and that's very good.
okay. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
Polish, so that kind of
Oh,
sounds
I
like a
didn't
potato
know.
pancake.
Yeah, something.
I put
Yeah.
applesauce on mine,
Yeah.
but that's
Very
my
nice.
go-to.
Yeah.
So most people, when they get to college, they've obviously locked in on one sport, but growing up, most people play other sports. So have you played any other sports?
I actually did. I tried a lot of sports for like a couple of months, but I mainly did acrobatic gymnastics for 8 years, I think.
Oh, wow.
It was very, very intense. I always wanted to be, because there are like two people, I always wanted to be the flyer, but I was always the base. So that's kind of why I stopped
Yeah.
doing it, because I didn't like it. And it's also a lot of dancing, and my friends did it, so I joined them. And yeah.
Would you say you were pretty good at it?
I would say I was average, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then my kind of other question, kind of about growing up with sports. If you, so I know you said you did gymnastics, but if there was any other sport, like, do you think you could have played and you would be successful in? What sports do you think that would be?
Maybe even any other endurance sports like swimming, cycling. Yeah.
Like any distance stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I swam in high school, so it kind of
Oh, so nice. Yeah.
it stinks, but it's great. It's a great conditioning,
Yeah.
and it's kind of better than running because I just don't like running. Everyone, but kind of talking about running. When did you kind of realize like I want to run in college? Because a lot of people are in high school, they run, but they don't. They're like, I don't want to do it in college. So what kind of made you want to run in college?
Yeah, so when I stopped doing gymnastics, my dad used to run sometimes, so I was like, yeah, I need something, so I'll just join him. And literally the first day I ran, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be a professional runner because I enjoyed it so much. And I was like, this is so fun. I just love it. And I needed to run every day. And yeah, everything from there kind of fell into place. And I joined a competitive athlete school. And then after that, I got recruited for the States. And yeah, now I'm here.
Yeah, what was so what do you I gotta ask, and this is not meant to be like kind of put your sport down, but what do you enjoy about running? Because so many people just hate it.
Honestly, I think in running you have to, if you're fit, you'll enjoy it. Yeah, like it takes some process, but you'll get better, and then you're like, oh, I get better. It's getting more fun. It's getting more fun, and then you always have so many endorphins after.
Yeah,
It's just
like a runner's high is an actual thing.
not like any other sport. You just run, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's just I feel amazing, and it's really hard, but then yeah, if you do well, it feels even better.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume you're D1, so that's probably pretty accomplishing. What was recruiting like?
Mm-hmm.
Especially being across the world.
Mm-hmm.
I know for people in America, we can
Mm-hmm.
go to. Let's say I get recruited by a school, I can just go visit. But for you, you got to kind of
Mm-hmm.
you can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna go visit a school. You kind of have to. So what
Yeah.
was your recruiting kind of like?
Yeah, it was very interesting. So a lot of coaches reached out from all kinds of places. And to be honest, I didn't really look at the places at all. I just wanted to be in a nice team, a good team, with a good coach,
Yeah.
and that was the main thing. Yeah.
So we'll kind of talk about recruiting, but what drew you to Bradley? I think I mentioned this a little later in some of my questions, but you were at Evansville first,
Yes.
um, and then you came here. So it was kind of a lateral move in size,
Mm-hmm.
just school population size. So
Mm-hmm.
what kind of drew you to Bradley?
First of all, the coach, I just really enjoyed talking to him. He's so good, and
Uh-huh.
his program is just amazing. And then this entire track program is very successful. So that was like a main thing for me. And I also talked to one of the girls, and she was just so amazing. It was so inspiring to talk to her. And after that talk, I was like, oh my God, I need to come. This team is
Yeah.
just so cool.
Yeah, because a lot of people, I talked about this a little with Jamie too, but a lot of people don't realize that our running is kind of one of our better sports, but it's just because it's running and not many
Mhm.
people kind of look at it as like a big sport. But
Mhm.
yeah, I've heard we're pretty successful, right?
Yeah.
What did we place in because you just wrapped up indoor valley conference. What
Yes.
did we place?
So we got fourth, but we don't have field and it's track and
Yeah,
field.
yeah, that's
So
that's what because I was looking on all the track people that I follow, like their stories, and
Mhm.
I would like look at the post and swipe, and everyone
Yeah.
would have field, which
Yeah.
is like a big not
Yeah,
having that
it's
is
a
a big
big part.
disadvantage because it's a
Yeah.
lot of scoring.
Yeah.
And then what were the did the facilities also kind of draw you like were you interested in the facilities and how they kind of their sports facilities are here?
To be honest, I didn't know about the facilities at all.
Okay,
Yeah.
really? Because
Yeah.
right, don't you guys? They technically, which kind of stinks. They don't have like a set in stone
Mhm.
track facility here for you guys, right?
Yeah, but Coach Carlson told me about the dome.
Uh-huh.
So in the indoor season, we run on the grass
Yeah,
and on the turf field,
yeah.
and it's so fun. Yeah,
Okay,
I
yeah,
like it a lot.
yeah. Dome. I mean, it's better than running, right? You guys would. One of my buddies told me you guys would run outside at Peoria High, right, or like a high school around here, right?
Oh yeah, we always run around somewhere here for easy
Mhm,
days, and
mhm.
then for hard days, we're either on the track outside or in the dome. Yeah.
So what kind of workouts you prefer? Do you prefer like lifting workouts or just running? Like or both? Like it could be either running and lift or running separately and lift
Mhm.
separately. What do you kind of
Yeah, actually, I love weightlifting. That's something my coach from home taught me a lot
Yeah.
because she said it's very important for injuries, and we lifted a lot at home. And I just me and our strength coach are besties.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love the gym.
Um
Yeah.
so we kind of talked that you were at Evansville before. We don't want to like
Mhm.
crap on them, but what was kind of the reasons that you decided to
Mhm.
transfer?
The team there was pretty small. I was actually the only distance runner in the team.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so and that was like the main thing that I was like, okay, I really want to have a big team.
Mhm.
And here it's just we have I don't even know, we have like 15 girls in the team.
Yeah.
They're so good. Yeah.
And did they have a lot of international
Yes.
people there too? Because we have, I think most of our team is right pretty international.
I think honestly just two are not.
Yeah, and
We have yeah.
especially on the girl side, right?
Yeah.
A lot of more from
Great
like
Britain.
yeah, Norway,
Yeah, Norway, Canada.
Canada. Do we have any? I know we have a lot of South African guys.
Yeah, girls too.
Okay.
A girl. Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. But you mentioned before we went on that you have a brother. I'm an older brother too. Does having an older sibling kind of help you kind of stay motivated? Because they kind of give you the older sibling treatment.
Um, so I'm the one who motivates him, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. He grew up playing tennis, but then he stopped, and then he was like, yeah, not really active. But he's a graphic designer, so he found another passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And does he kind of? I mean, I would assume track and field, like, I know sports,
Mhm.
but it's kind of hard to understand even just for, like, someone like me who swims, so I kinda know how
Mhm.
this point system works and stuff, but it's
Mhm.
still relatively confusing. Does he kinda have a general gist and understanding of it? So does he ever kinda say, I mean, I know you said he's a graphic design major, so or whatever, so he's not
Mhm.
like a runner, so he can't be like, "Oh, I'll beat you in it," but
Yeah.
does he kinda understand it a little bit?
Um, I feel like he doesn't, but he tries his best.
I mean,
So
that's good. At least
yeah,
he's trying.
yeah. And sometimes he tells me, "Oh, I ran today. It was like I didn't like it.
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
not fun." And I'm
So he
like,
kind of tries to make you feel bad about
"Yeah,
your sport? I mean,
yeah,
that's fair. I would do the same thing with my brother.
yeah,
So I saw you, worked with a organization in Kenya that's also in
mhm.
Austria. What was kind of the reasons that you wanted to work with this, run together?
Yes, it
So
is. Yes.
what was, kind of the reasons that you wanted to? Because most
Mhm.
people, especially our age, are more focused about college and
Yeah,
doing all the college stuff, but I saw that
yeah.
was very interesting to me. So what was your reason kinda?
Yeah, so it's actually very simple. They just sponsor orphan children in
Mhm.
Kenya to get an education. And they also have a running team there, and you can go on training camps.
Uh-huh.
And when I saw that they do that, I just wanted to contribute. So I make a monthly contribution because it helps some children there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just very nice because they even get some gifts, some pens for school,
Mhm.
and they can be there, and it's just so nice.
Yeah. Have
Yeah,
you been to, Kenya before?
I haven't.
Have you because I know some of the guys are, like, I know Jamie,
Hmm.
he trained in South Africa. Where have you just really trained in Austria and then here?
Yeah, basically, yeah,
Okay, I was just wondering.
yeah.
So you brought up your coach earlier. She ran in the Olympics, I saw.
Yes, she did.
So, what do you think that has done for your performance?
She's just such a big inspiration to me. She was like my first and only coach, basically. And her training was just so gentle because she knew I started running late, so she didn't want me to do too much. And we lifted a lot of weights
Mhm.
and did a lot of easy stuff. And I think it was just the perfect gradual exposure to the
Yeah.
sport. Yeah.
Is she a little kinda now that you kind of been running for a little longer, and I know now she's in
Mhm.
Austria, but is she a little harder on you now just because you guys are, you're running more now and you're kinda more in.
Not at all. She's always
Really?
like, "Oh my God, do you enjoy it?" And
Uh-huh.
she's just so sweet. Yeah.
Do you, because I know some people kinda just talk to their coaches
Mhm.
just when they're training. Do you try and stay in touch with her kinda all year round?
Yeah, I feel like weekly I would send her pictures and be like, "Oh, we
Okay.
had a race,"
Mhm.
and yeah.
So, what is it like kinda being around an Olympic athlete? Because I
Mhm.
even though I'm a big sports guy, have not been able to be
Mhm.
around an Olympic athlete. I
Yeah.
mean, like, I guess in basketball games when like, I'm at the NBA games, but that's
Yeah.
not like this. So
Yeah.
what is it like being around it, and does she do you? Because I would assume that's probably one of your goals.
Mhm.
So does she kinda help you and kinda tell you what you gotta do to be an Olympian?
Yeah, so it was funny because when I first saw her, I was there with my dad and I didn't know. And then my dad was like, "Oh, by the way, she ran into the Olympics. So
Yeah.
she ran 15, 16 in the 5K." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And yeah, and then like I felt like I could always talk to her about so much,
Mhm.
and she just had so much knowledge. And I was like, "Oh my God, is this normal?" I'm like so nervous
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And she was like, "Oh yeah, that's like you can still perform. It's," and she gave me the best tips.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just very
Yeah.
nice.
Because I'm blanking on, but what do you remember what Olympics she was in?
Yes, she was in Rio
That's what I
2000. Yeah,
thought I saw. So that
16.
was a
Yeah,
really good Olympics. That was one of, like,
yeah,
the first ones that I actually, like, remember
yeah,
watching because
yeah.
I was too
Same.
young to kinda,
Mm-hmm.
like, but that's when I started to remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sounds awesome. So,
Mm-hmm.
you said that, we just finished indoor season and now outdoors coming up. So which season do you prefer and then, why?
So I actually enjoy indoors more. Like I think no one does that,
Yeah, that's
but
what I was about to
yeah,
say.
but I love the 3,000 meters. I'm
Mhm.
just meant to run 3,000 meters, not 1,500, not 5,000 meters.
Yeah.
And you don't run 3,000 meters outdoors. You have to
Uh-huh.
run the 5K.
Yeah.
So I just love indoor season. Yeah.
What do you kinda like more about you said 3,000 meters? What
Yes.
do you like more about that than,
The other,
yeah.
yeah. It's just the perfect combination of speed and endurance. Like you don't need too much speed, you don't need too much endurance. You'll not be completely dead at the end. You just feel great.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Because like, I get what you're saying. Because like, when you kind of do stuff, especially running, you're you kind of like when you're done with some races, you're like you want to die. But with the 3,000, you kind of, I mean, you're tired because you're
Yeah.
running hard.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like you kind of feel like you're not as like dead. You still
Yes.
feel like you can kind of, because what
Yeah.
is a normal kind of meet day? Because for high school swimming, I know it's different, but we would 4 times a day. What is it kind of like what's a normal like track meet for you? Like how many races would you say you run?
On a day?
Yeah.
Oh, one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one.
Okay, that's way better than
Yeah.
swimming. And then
Yeah.
is it multiple days usually?
Yeah, so conference was Sunday, Monday, but basically everyone ran more than once because it was conference.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So a normal track meet, you're usually running one
One
time.
race, yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
way better. Maybe I should have been a track runner.
Yeah.
So I talked to Jamie earlier, and he said he has, we were talking about because shoes obviously play a big part in running. So what are your kind of go-to shoes? I know we're an Under Armour sponsored school, and I know
Yeah.
Evansville was a Nike sponsored
Yes,
school. So you've kind of experienced both. Which one would you say that you would prefer?
So I tried the Under Armour spikes for the first time this year, and they're so good. They're my favorite shoes ever. Yeah, first I thought, oh my gosh, no, I need the Nike spikes. But now I'm like, maybe they're even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you kind of? I asked him about Hoka's. Do you kind of have like do you think your shoe taste kind of improves? Outside of just running shoes. I mean, I see you got some nice neon green and pink shoes on right now. So does it kind of help with your like outside shoe preferences too?
Um, no, honestly, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I kind of brought up Hoka's. What do you think of Hoka's? Jamie said they're okay, but I want to know.
I have not tried them.
Really?
No, I haven't.
I feel like, and I'm not saying like this to put you down, but I had a bunch of track buddies in high school, and all of them were obsessed with Hoka. So
Actually.
they said that they're like really good running shoes,
Okay.
and my grandpa wears them too, so they must be good for older people too. So I don't know if what the big deal is, but I'm an Adidas guy. I love my Ultra Boosts. I don't know about you, but I'm a big Adidas guy.
Okay, good to know.
So we kind of talked a little bit about running earlier, and like your running in times. What's your biggest motivation to run and to kind of like keep going? Because obviously, everyone, no matter what sport you play, you're gonna be like, I don't want to do this on some days. So what kind of gets you out of bed sometimes?
Just like the big goals, like running the PRs and yeah, going to some very big races in the future.
Where's your dream place to race at?
Ooh,
All I'm gonna say is look at my shirt.
what does it say?
Oregon.
Oh my God. You know my answer.
That's what I've heard from
Yeah.
most track people. That's why I was like, maybe, because I've heard their track facility there is one of the best in the
Oh
world.
yeah.
And Jamie said that it's nationals are the only thing that's hold there.
I think it is, yes. Yeah.
Because I saw you were a national champion, right?
In cross country, yeah.
Where were those taking place at?
That was a cross country race. They were in I don't remember honestly the state anymore. It was, yeah. No, I don't even remember.
You're good.
I don't
But
remember.
what was kind of, I mean, I know you're only a sophomore, so you got a lot more running ahead of you, but where's been the nicest place that you've ran, would you say, I mean, I guess we can say high school and younger career, but I mean, colleges, obviously, you're going to have nicer places to run. So where's the nicest place you've ran at so far?
A race or in general?
A race.
Yeah, so that was in Germany. There's a small town and they have a 3,000-meter outdoor race.
Oh, so.
And it's every year in June. And it's very late. I ran at 10 p.m., I remember.
Wow.
And they have like the lights and it's just so cool.
And then we can kind of talk outside of race. What would you say? Because I would assume you still go on runs even when you're not, obviously. So where was kind of the best sort of, I guess, scenic place that you've ran?
Honestly, that's my home.
Really?
Yeah.
What is Austria like the kind of landscape for running?
So we have a lot of variety. I'm like, yeah, I live close to the woods actually.
Okay.
So that's very nice. I live an hour from Vienna, so there are very good running places. I have friends who live in the mountains.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
you can train in elevation too, which is
yeah,
important.
yeah.
What does training in elevation kind of do? Does that kind of like I know people say makes your lung, but what does it kind of do? Because I don't. I mean, I get it a little, but like not to the fully
Yeah.
sense, I guess.
So you get more red blood cells.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, which is like kind of the reason why people say it makes you run faster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you? I would assume you've trained a little bit in the mountains a little bit.
Honestly, not really, like not seriously. I've been a week or so,
Yeah.
but yeah, I wouldn't feel a difference after a week. Yeah.
Okay. And then what is the difference? We kind of talked a little bit about your home in Austria, but what is the difference between running here and in Austria now? Obviously, you know the switch into is it what is the switch? Is it kilometer? What is
Kilometers.
yeah, kilometers to meters, right? Is it that's what it's like here?
Miles.
Oh,
Yeah,
miles.
I get my training program in miles, which
Okay.
is still kind of confusing
Yeah.
sometimes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So have you switched like are you miles here and then kilometers back home?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's even harder because
Yeah.
I was surprised when I was talking to Jamie. He said that he's been miles his whole
Yeah.
life, which is surprising because America likes to be different and weird
Yeah.
and is the only right. They're the only country in the world that trains in miles, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think the Irish girls have miles too.
okay,
Yeah.
but what was it like? You know,
Yeah.
besides obviously the big metric difference,
Yeah.
what's kind of the big difference? I mean, you've only been here for 2 years
Yeah.
compared to Austria for your life. So,
Yeah.
what would you say the big kind of difference is?
Yeah, it's just running in the big team,
Uh-huh.
which is it's just so fun
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah.
Because in Austria, do you kind of run a lot like solo? Would you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's mostly the same, just kind of smaller kind of groups.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
And then we can kind of go off of track for a little right here. But who's your favorite athlete of all time, and who kind of like motivates you, I guess? Like a great athlete that you kind of look up to, and this can be in anything.
Yeah, so it's actually from running. It's Alicia Monson. She's from the US and she runs so fast. She's a 5,000-meter runner. I think she was 10th in the Olympics or something like
Yeah.
that. And she could keep up with all the Africans, which is
Is
so
are the Africans kind of like the
dominance.
yeah.
Yeah.
So is there like kind of any specific reason, or is it just
She's just like, if you would see her on the street, she just looks like a completely normal person.
okay?
And
So she kind of doesn't let the
yeah,
stardom or
yeah,
whatever
kind
get
of.
to her. I mean, that's what it
Yeah.
sounds like your coach is like too, because I remember you saying when your dad was like, "Oh yeah, she ran the Olympics," you were kind of like you
Yeah.
couldn't because
Yeah.
with some athletes, and I think some athletes, I'm not saying all, but I think some athletes you can tell because I think some of them are doping a little bit, so
Yeah.
they're on some stuff. So they stand out.
Yeah.
But from what it sounds like, you kind of like being in the like obviously you're a runner and you're proud to be one, but like you kind of like being in the background of kind of not really being like, oh, this person's definitely an athlete. Sort of is that kind of right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any like Austrian people that you kind of look up to or?
I could only think of my coach right now, to be
That's
honest.
fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what does a normal week of training look like
Mm-hmm.
for you? Jamie said he's running up to 50, 60 miles, and he's a short distance guy, so I'm very interested to see what you say.
Yeah, so I ran 50 miles until last year, and I had so many injuries. I had a labrum tear
Ooh, that's
until
rough.
December,
Yeah.
and the stress reaction as well. And then after that, I was like saying to my coach, I had like 6 stress fractures now. My hips are just not meant to run so much. So if I could supplement it with cross training, so like biking, swimming on easy days. And so that's what we started doing once or twice a week now. So I've only been running like yeah, maybe 40 miles a week now.
That's not. I mean, that's still
with cross training.
that's still a lot. So then, what's your go-to then? Kind of cross training. Then I'll ask.
I enjoy the elliptical the most,
Mhm.
actually, if I think about it.
Good. The pool at Markin is awful. It's like it's. I think it's way too warm.
Oh my God, no, it's not.
R-
It's
You think
perfect. Yes.
what?
Yes.
I get like because obviously you sweat when you swim, but you
Yeah.
don't know. I get too like the pool should feel refreshing. I think
No,
personally.
it should be warm. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's
Like you don't want to go inside and be like, oh my gosh, it's so cold. I don't want to.
well. Then it's gonna. The reason why I like it is because when you're really hot in the pool, and then you kind of cool off, you're like, wow, this feels really good. But for me, I mean, this is just my personal preference. When I swim in there, I'm like dying from my workout, and then I'm just more hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but still, I actually recently we've been aqua jogging for my cross
Okay.
training, me and some teammates. That was fun because we were jogging for like 2 lanes in half an hour, I would say.
Yeah, that's
It's just like
a pretty decent workout,
so
honestly.
slow.
Yeah, you feel like you're going fast, but you're not. You're not at
No.
all.
You're not moving. Yeah.
But it kind of helps with the explosive movement too, though.
Yeah, and it's similar to running, obviously.
And
Yeah.
do you just do the elliptical, or like do you do Stairmaster? Like what are your kind of go-to?
So yeah, it's either elliptical, bike, swim, or aqua jog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually not
Yeah.
too bad. And then this is my last question. What's your favorite track memory? I know your kind of track running career right now is really young, but so far, would you say your favorite memory is? And if you want to do one where it's your team, like one with your team, and then one kind of just your personal, I'm
Yeah.
totally okay with that.
So if I think about that, I actually have to think about conference last week because the men won all distance events. They
Yeah.
won the 800, the mile, the 3K, the 5K, the DMR.
Mhm.
The women won all except the 800, so the
Mhm.
mile, the 3K, the 5K,
Yeah.
the DMR. And just like to see them being so happy and so successful, that meant so much to me.
Uh-huh.
And then I raced. So in the 3,000 meters, there were 2 heats.
Yeah.
And I raced in the first heat. And I was the only one in that heat. So I could hear all my teammates screaming.
Yeah.
And that was just so special. And
Yeah.
the race was good. So it was so special.
Yeah, it probably makes you feel good too that
Yeah.
like people are
Yeah.
cheering for you,
Yeah.
even though like it's kind of like an awkward thing where like you're the only one running. So like
Yeah.
you're like racing yourself, but you also feel like kind of a dummy sometimes, or at least that's how I felt when I would swim, and I would be like the only guy left. I would feel like a dummy after because obviously you don't know you're the only one swimming until you're done.
Yeah.
But that's good that they're kind of uplifting you.
No, I was almost winning the heat, so that was very
Yeah,
very nice.
yeah, because like especially when you're not racing with any of your teammates, you kind of feel alone.
Yeah, that was yeah.
And then I also saw that we set a bunch of records too,
Oh yeah.
which was a great
Yeah.
meet too. But do you have anything else you'd like to say, or
No, I think
we got it mostly covered?
You got it
Well,
mostly covered. Yeah.
thanks for taking time out of your day
Yes.
to do this. I hope you enjoyed. But that's a wrap, guys, for this episode of the Sports Syllabus Show. Thanks for tuning in and joining the conversation. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and share the show with your fellow sports fans. Got a hot take or a question? Hit us up on Instagram. Until next time, stay hyped, stay active. We'll see you back here for your next dose of the Sports Syllabus Show. Take care.